Oh, Deirdre, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Is that working now?
Perfect.
Okay. So when I go to share my screen, it's automatically muting me. So if you see that, Kathy or Sina, can you just switch it around for me?
Yes.
Oh.
No, it mutes you when you go to the screen. We found that we have some weird settings going on today.
Okay, hold on one second.
All right. Thanks, folks. A little technical issue here. Zoom.
Okay, so let me try this one more time.
Changes in the last couple of days that has.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna try one more time.
You're muted again. Sina, can you unmute her?
I can't. I
We
can mute
cannot-
her, but I can't unmute her.
Okay. I am so sorry about this. Okay, let me just check my settings and see if something wacko is going on here. I could also quickly send the presentation to you, Sina. Is that a possibility? So I don't waste everyone's time.
Oh, absolutely. Or
Nice.
you know what? What if I make you a host or a co-host? I made you a co-host. Okay.
Make her the host. Maybe that'll do it.
Oh, thank you, Emily. I come up as the speaker, so maybe that's the problem. Ugh, how do I undo that?
While we're waiting, folks, just want to let you know that StarNet has some additional webinars coming up in the next couple of months. The topic of literacy. We have Heather Aiken from Frank Porter Graham Child Development Center who'll be doing a series of 3 webinars on topics related to early literacy, building read-alouds, and using books to create phonological awareness. So check out our website for some new things. Go ahead, Deidre.
Try it. Okay.
I pinned you now. Damn it. No. Darn it. Sorry.
All right. I will email it to you real quick.
Yep. And I'll just, you tell me when to advance.
All right. I'm so sorry.
Oh, hey man, there's always a way.
Okay. Would you give me your email really quick?
It's S Thomas, THOMAS, at CNTRMAIL.org.
Okay. Okay, it should be coming to you. I'll talk a little bit right now while we're getting that set up about some of the slides. Bring back. Okay. So all of the handout, all of the slides you're going to see, all of the different resources that I talk about are going to be in that Google folder. I put it up in the chat. It is called Core Share. So bit.ly, bit.ly/ all uppercase Core Share. So you're going to have access to all my slides. With every presentation I give, please share out any materials that you'd like. We're all about building the capacity and having more and more people with a lot of this rich knowledge. So I think the next slide was me introducing myself, and I am Deidre Dobbels. I am a speech language pathologist, and this is year 23 of practice, which has gone by really, really fast. I currently am in a non-early childhood position. I am the director of augmentative and alternative communication in a high school district, where I'm putting together their department and working with teachers and staff and families, really building the capacity. But the majority of my career I have spent working with students birth through 5, sometimes up to 6, and many of them who have complex communication needs. Any luck yet, Sina?
I not see that.
You don't see it?
No, not yet. Okay.
Okay, I'll do it one more time.
STHOMAS at CNTR, like center without the E's, mail, MAIL. Doggone. Duh.
If you have, you could just send it to me too, and I could do it.
Case
Yeah.
Slattery.
You got me in your email already.
Oh, true.
Sorry, folks.
Yes, no problem, Holly. We'll get that. It's way up here. I'll just copy and paste that for you. Here we go. There we go. Gmail is just the best thing, right up until it's.
Deirdre, you're talking, but you're muted.
Doing that again every time. Okay,
Yeah.
so Augustana College is where I got my bachelor's degree. My master's work was at Eastern Illinois University, and I've done graduate work at Coastal California University, at California State University, Dominguez Hills, and then lots and lots of professional development that doesn't count towards graduate hours, but really helped, increase my knowledge base. All right, so we have slides.
No.
It didn't come through?
No, I am refreshing wildly. And it's just.
Okay. Okay, I can, let's see, we're gonna pull them up.
Maybe try sending them to Kat.
Okay.
This might not work, but since we got that bit link, can you just open the presentation through the bit link?
Hey.
Isn't that just the handouts?
I thought I
It
saw
is
the point.
there is a lot of content.
I could be wrong. I thought I saw the PowerPoint.
Yeah, let's see. We've got a year of core vocabulary is one of the PowerPoints. Core board. Yeah, I'm just kind of whoop. Hey, that's weird. Oh, Deidre, here it is. Okay, slideshow. All right, you ready? I can share it.
Deirdre, you're muted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, the mess part is over. We're just gonna get on with great content and excitement.
Yes, it's gonna be amazing. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so the name of our workshop, we know that. We can go right ahead and move on. And there's the slide deck. That's a picture of me. There's me with some of my littles. And then there's gonna be some pictures of some of the big guys I work with now. Spent a lot of time at Barrington 220 in the early childhood program. I do moderate a Facebook community. It's called Creative Speech Therapy. Join me there. I share lots of free resources, ideas, motivational quotes. On top of my day job, I also do a lot of presenting like this. This year I was the keynote with my colleague Kelly Key at the Indiana AAC Summit, and I'm a frequent presenter at Closing the Gap. Go on to the next one. Just a little bit about me. Oh, and I am teaching adjunctly also. So I teach for University of Illinois, Chicago, as well as College of DuPage for their SLPA program. This is my family. I have boys all around me and they're wonderful. I love our life. It's busy and loud. This is my dog who you might hear, but they're doing a good job so far. These are my parents. I'm very lucky to have them nearby. And they're a very big, important part of my life. And we spend as much time as we can in Upper Michigan. We just love being by the water and all the great food and things that happen up there. Okay, let's get into some contact there. We talk about my school and my other school. So, and there is that link one more time. Go ahead and we'll progress through this. So today we're going to first do a brief talk about language and literacy development. We're going to jump into core vocabulary, jump into shared reading, and then we're going to take those two important things and put them together. So that's what everyone's here for today. So preschool language and literacy skill development. Let's turn the page. So that pre-literacy, it is such an important thing, especially with the age group that we're working with. The majority of children's neural pathways are solidified by the time they are 6 years old. And so that development of those prerequisite or those co-occurring language skills that happen at the same time that those literacy skills are developing are all happening between that year birth to 6. And so it comes down to that the earlier children that experience those meaningful interactions with language and books and literacy and words, the less likely that they are to experience later reading and academic difficulty. This is something we all know as professionals in this field. Go ahead and change the slide. Some of those skills, and there are many of them, but when you kind of prioritize those really important early literacy skills, that first is that oral language. We want to develop that. We want strong receptive language and understanding and connections. We want that listening comprehension that hears the words and puts them together. And we want to build that expressive language that is robust. We also want those alphabetic principles, knowing that there's letters and sounds. And then we also, Vanna, thank you, that print awareness, you know, that letters make sounds and letters together make words. So these are 3 of the most important things. And we all know that there's lots of little pieces that go together to make those things happen. Go ahead. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that oral language. And so a typically developing 3 to 4-year-old, so a child between 36 and 48 months, someone who might be in their first year of early childhood. These are some of the developmental norms that ASHA, American Speech Language Hearing Association, has come up with. A typical preschool would be able to answer those simple who, what, and where questions, some of those more concrete ones. They'd be able to do some rhyming words like hat and cat and bat, using some of those early pronouns like I, you, me, we, and they. They're starting to add simple plurals, basic plurals, like in plural S to words. Most people are going to understand what your child says. That's about 70% is what they consider most. They ask those when and how questions a lot. When, how? Most 3 to 4-year-olds typically developing expressive language are putting 4 words together, but they're going to make some grammar mistakes. So things like I go to school, and they're able to talk about what happened during the day, sometimes up to 4 sentences at a time at that 48-month level. So that's a lot of things that are happening. However, a lot of us do work with students who have these communication disorders and delays. So right now, the current statistics are that 1 in 12, so 7.7% of children ages 3 to 17 have some type of communication disorder or delay. And most commonly, it is going to be boy. As many of us know, in our classrooms, there are a lot of boys who might be struggling with those language skills right now. The prevalence is highest among those kids 3 to 6. That's where we are. It's 11% of preschoolers compared to when you get to that school age where we're looking down at a smaller percentage. And then nearly 1 in 10 or like 9.6% of African-American children present with a communication delay or disorder. And that's a higher incidence than with white children or Hispanic children. So just some good statistics to have in mind that there's a lot of children who don't have those expressive and receptive language skills developed yet. So these are some intake blurbs that someone gave me about some students who were coming to work with me for an evaluation. So they said, child is a 30-month-old male who's a member of a loving, supportive English-speaking family. His parents report that he has a vocabulary of 5 words, including ma, me, bay, I love the way he says it, boo, and bye. He uses these common gestures, including waving and pointing, and the parent reports the child seems to be groping, kind of really pushing to get words out, and is becoming increasingly frustrated with not being able to communicate, evidenced by crying, aggression, and withdrawal. How many of us have had a student like this, come into our classrooms, into our therapy rooms? This was another student. This child was referred for this evaluation by her pediatrician, who noted very few true words, stereotypic and repetitive play, and strong reactions to sounds and textures and changes in routine. The parent indicated that this child every so often will say a new word clearly once, and everyone will get so excited, but then they don't state it again. They also indicated that the child does not like playing with other children, and often these experiences when they go to play groups end with long tantrums, and they can be difficult to soothe. That's another student that a lot of us, a very similar profile, might be children that we're working with. Let's go on to the next one. And my last friend, she's a 40-month-old female who was brought to this assessment by her foster mother, who indicated concerns in all areas of development, including vision and hearing, social communication, motor skills, and pre-academics. This child was recently placed with a foster parent and has a history of significant trauma, abuse, frequent changes in caregivers, homelessness, and neglect. The child is reported to use 2 to 3 word phrases. However, the foster parent has not heard much verbal language during the past 2 months in her care. So this is another profile of students who we are commonly seeing in our classrooms, who aren't able to use that expressive language to build on that literacy skills. That's why I'm presenting this model of hitting that language and literacy at the same time. Thanks, Dina. We can go to the next slide. So that impact. So when a preschooler doesn't have effective communication skills to express that whole range of feelings and emotions and intentions, you're going to see frustrations. You're going to see those negative behaviors and aggression. You're going to see socialization skills that look a little bit different. Problem-solving skills have been noted to be decreased. Withdrawal and resistance to new experiences, a difficulty regulating emotions, decreased self-worth, and decreased health and safety also. So we all know communication skills are important. This is just also going on to say everyone needs communication skills. Yeah. Oh, and the big one, delayed literacy development, which is why we're here. And so we're at a great time in technology. In the past 10 years alone with iPads, we have been able to bring more AAC into households and classrooms because it's easier to access, more inexpensive. And so we are now in a time where there's no more need to wait and see. We shouldn't be waiting. If a child comes to us and they have impaired communication, if they aren't able to do a lot of those things that we were talking about, we need to start exploring AAC options. And so what we know from the research is that there's no skill prerequisites for AAC. You don't have to have a joint attention. You don't have to be able to categorize. The only prerequisite for AAC, as they say in the field, is life itself. There's also no minimum age for AAC. Research has indicated that AAC will not impede development of natural speech. However, there's lots of research that says it actually can be a springboard for students who are verbal to use even more verbal language, or can get that verbal language stimulated and coming out. As I alluded to earlier, we have an increased access to AAC. It is everywhere. If nothing else, you can print out a core board very easily, and I have a lot of those in our resource folder if you don't already have a core board you're using with your population. And the other thing is that we really know, that that social emotional impact of not having language is very detrimental, and that if we don't provide that language so that they can continue to develop that social emotional impact, we really, the ball's rolling, the snowball's getting bigger and bigger. We're not only talking literacy, language, social, emotional. So at this point, we should not be waiting and seeing anymore for AAC. Okay. And as we know, that just one more thing, sorry, Sina, is that children learn best from multimodal input. So by bringing in some type of AAC device, a board, we're providing visual, verbal, lots of different input methods. So that's in the best interest of overall child development anyway. So I love this meme. This is from Practical AAC. I don't really know if it's a meme, this image. The best time to introduce AAC is in early childhood. The second best time is now. I'm working with a lot of students age 14 to 22, and we are just now introducing AAC. We've lost a lot of years, but we still can make a lot of different changes. So this is great because this reminds us right now with the students we're working on, we can really make some really big ripples of change. Are there any questions, comments, or anything that anyone wants to share from their practice before we go on to the next area? You can go ahead and unmute if you want to do that. Okay.
Well, hold on, Deidre. I think there's a way for me to pass the controls to you, or like it'll be on my screen, but you can the controls. So I just thought
Okay.
I'd warn you before I did it. Never mind. I can't.
You're doing an amazing job.
Well,
Amazing.
never mind. Next time we'll try that. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program.
Okay. Okay, so core vocabulary. Any of you have heard me talk for StarNet or pretty much anywhere in the Midwest or the country, I spend a lot of time talking about core vocabulary. We're going to talk about it a little bit more now. Many of you are probably quite familiar with core vocabulary, but it is nice to have the words to share with other colleagues, other families, on why this is an important set of words to use as we're working with our young ones who don't have a lot of vocabulary yet. Okay, so core vocabulary is a set of about 350 words based on which linguist you talk to. I've actually been in a meeting with different linguists who are fighting over how many words are considered core vocabulary. It went from about 250 to 425, so I stick with the 350. So it's that small set of words, 350-ish, that are spoken and written with the highest frequency. And it's about 80% of the words that we use daily. These words can be used regardless of the situation, the communication partner, the age, or the ability level of that communicator. It truly is that core of what we're using for our language all the time. There it is, 350. I don't know why I did that again. It really likes these facts. It wants to show us again. So what core allows us to do is to satisfy a wide variety of communication functions using just kind of a small number of words. And so when you look at core vocabulary, it contains a lot of different parts of speech. There's verbs, pronouns, prepositions, adjectives, interjections, and some nouns. It's going to be heavily verb laden, which is often very different than the words that we might be traditionally introducing to a young child who doesn't have a lot of verbal speech. Go to the next slide. I'm going to show you what some of these words are. So AAC Language Lab is one of my favorite resources. It is a subscription-based service. It's under $20 a year, but what you get is significant for that amount. So if you are working with core vocabulary at all or emergent communicators, I would encourage you to look at this site. But the cool news is they also have lots of freebies. And one of their freebies is this document called the Top 100 Frequently Used Core Vocabulary Words. And I did stick a copy of this in your resource folder. So those top 100 words that we use are those social words like yes, no, thank you, please, hi, bye, and a lot of those pronouns. And as well as those WH question words, and the group that I kind of call your helping words. The be, is, am, are, was, were, do, did, can, have, will. We don't think of them too much, but sentences wouldn't really make a lot of sense without them, so they're super helpful. And then also determiners, and that's actually a word that AAC Language Lab came up with, and I really like it. So things like this one, that one, some of them, all of them, determining. So that's going to be within your top 100. And your adverbs like not, don't, now, here, there, away, again. Lots of verbs, as you see. And those prepositions, those joining words like and but, and those adjectives, some of those ones that we use often. So those are the top 100 words that we are using as a population, from toddler to our geriatric years, whether we're in the barber shop or we're out at the club. I don't remember what that's like anymore. But those are the words that 80% of the time, that's what our phrases and our utterances are contained of. So let's think of the word go. For those of you who have already spent an entire day working with your students or your clients, I'm guessing it's going to be in the hundreds that you've used this word. There could be things like, where is it? There we go. I'm going. Go get it. Ready to go? Keep going. Want to go out? Go. You need to go. Get going. Where did you go? Go get more. Go in. Go to. That's a lot of uses of one word for lots of different purposes. Same type of thing. How many times have you used the word help? Or have you heard people around you saying, little voices saying that word? Need help? Yes, Mara, is it your birthday today? I just got a comment that we need to go pick up my birthday cake today. Happy birthday. Yes, we do need to go get your cake. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Thank you for spending it with me. That's so nice. Like the words help, like I need help carrying the birthday cake. Want help? Get help. Can you help me? I need help. I don't need help. Help me do it. You can help. I helped. You helped. So many different ways that we are using this word. And I'm going to throw out one more word. Make. Make it. Did you make that? Oh, how did you make it? Want to make it? You made that? Make more. I'm making it. Can I make it? It is made. Lots and lots of different ways and different situations that we are using that word or a derivative of it. Okay. So many of the words cannot be concretely symbolized, and that can be difficult. It's hard to show a picture of what be is or what go is. So that's one of the things about core vocabulary to keep in mind. However, words can be used very flexibly for lots of different purposes. So instead of saying birthday cake, we can say things like eat it, get it, like it, make it. There's a lot of words that we can use. Birthday cake is very important though. People can use core words to express that wide variety of intention, so they can make requests, they can make comments, they can ask questions, they can give their opinions, they can talk about how it's made, they can tell stories about it. Using these words are very intertwined with lots and lots of different communication functions. We're not just talking about I want. And one of the cool things is that many of those early Dolch words that we're working on for sight words and spelling are actually core vocabulary words. You're going to find a lot of four-letter words, but four-letter words of the good kind. Okay, so that brings in the core board. And I just think this is the best 10 cents you can spend in education. I mean, it might be more since it is a color copy, but printing out a core board is just such a fantastic way to start providing lots of systematic, structured, robust language in whatever setting you're in. And like I said, for under $1, depending on what printer you go to, you can have this magnificent tool. So we're going to talk a little bit more about core boards. I know, Megan, I feel the same way. Megan said, I cannot live without my core boards. I agree. I agree. All right, next page. So the core board, I always refer to it as that gateway to lots of language. It is contains those highest frequency core words. It utilizes a consistent motor plan that helps us become very efficient in communication. It's like playing a piano or typing. Once you learn where everything is on it, it speeds things up. It's expensive and inexpensive. It's inexpensive and easy to duplicate. And it provides that multimodal input. So you can give the verbal and the visual. And the nice thing is, this is a student who will need continued AAC sources, it very easily transfers to use of a device or application, one of our robust communication apps. So I just think the world of core boards. I have them everywhere. Okay, so this is one. This is the one that I'm using in my current district. This is the Saltillo. It's 96 words based off of the TouchChat WordPower 60 basic board. So if you have students who might be along the line, maybe using a TouchChat device, this is a great board. Sherry Shandi too was like, core boards, you can't have enough. I agree. Hi, Sherry. So this is one of the core boards I do have in your resource folder. If you don't have one and you want to use it, go ahead, print out as many as you can. Hi. All right, our next one is, this is a great one. This was designed by Rachel Enders, who is a social media extraordinaire AAC, speech language pathologist. If you follow her on any of the social media, she collects everything that's out there and puts it in amazing folders. So anything AAC language development, you're going to find it on Rachel's sites. But what she did is she took this core board and then she also added in that alphabet, because it really is important to have access, to have that true robust vocabulary. Adding that alphabet is super important. And then she also added a lot of those descriptors that are being used in an early childhood classroom. So this one is in there. Another big fan of core boards. I love it. So that one's in the folder. And then this one, I have some Barrington friends on here, but this is one at Barrington School District that they use. This is the LAMP Words for Life homepage. And as you see on there, they also have added the alphabet. So how many of you, I guess in the chat, how many of you have a core board that you have established as this is the board that I use, and this is kind of our school board or our district board? I'll just kind of monitor the chat. Saltillo is all over. We have it. Saltillo, none. Okay. Saltillo. Hi, Nancy. Okay. So they made their own in 58. If that's something you'd be willing to share with us, Kim, I can add it to our folder. I've used all of them. Great. Yep. Schools are looking at choosing one for consistency. Your SLP. Awesome. Terrific. And making them child specific. Absolutely. Okay. So if you don't have a board right now, or if you're still trying to make decisions about what is best, there's a few things I encourage you to do. I encourage you to look at the symbol set that you might have visuals in. You might have Meyer Johnson, which are those board maker pictures. That's our middle one in here. And those are the same symbols used in like Tobii Dynavox devices, the Saltillo board, and anything by TouchChat that's using symbol sticks. So maybe you're using News to You and you have a symbol sticks account, so you can create visuals of that. Or the third board that I presented, those are LAMP. They are MinSpeak symbols. So kind of depending on what access you have to symbol makers, that can kind of help you decide what you want to take as kind of your universal core board. You can also look at along the line, if you're in a unit school district where you have kids throughout the grades using different apps or devices, see what they're using. Is there a trend? In Barrington, we noticed the trend that there were a lot of students going to Prenke-Romic devices, which use these MinSpeak symbols. That's the third core board that I showed you. So it just made sense to, use that as our universal core board. And Gina just said, do you just blow this up large and keep it on your whiteboard? I do so many things with it, but yeah, that is a great thing to do if you have that projection ability, just doing that. a few times throughout the year, all the different printers, Vista Print. I'm trying to think of some of the other online like printers. I'll think of some of the names and I'll add it as to a resource doc in there. They'll do like 50% off sales so you can get large posters made. I actually have a 9x6 core board in my current office. It's great. We put it on the floor sometimes and it's made out of like a vinyl. So we put it on the floor, we play Twister on it, we step on words. I just can't say enough. I'm going to show you at the end some other creative ways that people have brought core boards into the shared reading environment, but really you can start with a bunch of paper copies. You can laminate them so they're more sturdy. I also like to go to Dollar Tree and I get the 8x10 plastic slide-in frames. So there's lots of different ways. My kind of rule for myself is that I always want to have core an arm's length away. I'll have it on my lanyard. I'll have them kind of everywhere. Megan just said that she has had students respond better to using speech generating devices using both LAMP and word power. So you haven't been able to decide on the core board as your tier one. Yeah, that is a difficulty. And I think it's okay if you're using both. You can have a double-sided, you can model on one side and then turn over and model to the other side also. The words are staying consistent, and that's the main thing that we have to have. So it is tricky, it is tricky. But yeah, I am gonna share some fun ways that you can get core boards kind of into your environment for when you're doing some of the shared reading. So core boards are great. If you don't have one yet, I would love for you to print out some of the ones in there and try to do some of these things with it that we're going to talk about now. Okay, go ahead, Sina. So to use the core board, what we're going to do is we're going to touch word on the core board as you speak. You're going to speak slowly, which is actually great because as you're familiarizing yourself to a core board, it takes a little time. It's actually built in for that. I see you. You're going to choose just a few words to model. This is not a world's best modeler competition. You don't have to model everything on that board. You're going to pick a few here or there. And one of the most important things is that you're going to use correct grammar when you're modeling. So if you're talking about what everyone did over the weekend and someone said something about grandmas, you're going to touch, you go to grandmas. But when you're touching go, you are going to give that verb conjugation. You're going to say, oh, you, go ahead, Stina. Yeah, one more time. Haha, there it is. You went to grandma's. You're going to show that those core words change, just like verbs do. So that's really what we do with a core board. It's such a great tool. Let's go ahead and progress. So think about, thank you. Okay, so Kim shared hers. Awesome. I will put that. Oh, so Kim shared her core board and then also some of the fringe strips that she uses. So I will add them in the folder. Thank you so much. So let's talk about using the core board. You use it everywhere. So either at arrival or departure. These might be some things using any of those core boards that I showed you that you can be saying visually and verbally to students. Go get it. Put it on. Do you need help? I like it. You did it. Those are just a few things that you could say in that area. Let's try another part of our day. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's coloring. Oh, he left. There he is. Huh. Nope. It's not coming. Okay. All right, we can go on to then. All right, let's try this guy. What kind of things, and this is the one where I was going to have you guys. Yeah, we'll just go to this one. We'll go back to, and I'll freestyle it. I can do this, I think, in core. So this guy, he's coloring. On my core board, I can say things like, oh, you did it. I like it. It is good. How did you make it? What are you doing? Can I watch? All those things I can say with just the language on a core board. So now I'm putting you guys to the test for our next cute little guy who's at snack. All right, so you can either speak out or put them in chat. What are some things saying with those core boards? Either one that you have with you or looking at some of those in the folders. Do you like it? I like it. I like it. You eat, let's eat. Yep. Do you want more? I want more. Eat it. Are you finished? Oh, you guys are amazing. Is it good or bad? Do you want more? Do you want more? You guys are on fire. It is Thursday afternoon. I'm so impressed. Okay. Yeah. Lots of different language. Eat more. Yeah. And the nice thing is while we're modeling these in snack, a lot of these things we could say if we're playing with blocks or if we are playing with snow. You know, there's lots and lots of different things that we can do. Are you hungry? It is time. Yeah. Lots and lots of things. So using that core board is a fantastic tool. I do not get paid by the core board people, just so you know, I just really like them. So really what it takes is kind of shifting your mindset. It's learning those words on the core board and you eventually start thinking in core. My poor husband and sons, I think, are pretty used to getting a lot of their directions in short core phrases. Go get it, put it on, take it off. But when you start thinking about those words, it really does help you provide that language environment for our emerging communicators. And when you can also add that visual piece of modeling, it's pretty impressive. So thinking in core. Sherry just shared that she has a student who has much difficulty with transitions. And to transition by modeling, you go and play, and then the student uses the core board to verbalize it as you transition to the motor room. Yay! Yeah, it is really great when you see that power. I had a student, now she's an older student, but we had a wonderful assembly. It was wonderful. We were celebrating people going down to state. There was lots of noise. I knew this was hard for my student. She picked up her iPad. We walked out of the room and she told me, I don't like it. And I talked back. I said, I know it is too loud. And just think about, you know, someone speaking in the same language as you, how like affirming that is. Thank you for sharing that, Sherry. Okay, next slide. Oh, so not only think, but we're going to speak. So now we're going to talk about shared reading. And shared reading is something that's been around for a while, but it's really kind of, again, made a resurface with a lot of the research by Dr. Karen Erickson, who is one of the co-authors of the book Comprehensive Literacy for All. Have any of you read this book? You can pop it in the chat if you have. For working with students with complex disabilities, it's kind of changed everything. It's pretty impressive. So if you get an opportunity to read it, or there's online book study groups always going that are free, it's well worth your time if you do work with students who have those complex needs. So could you name the title again? Yes, it is called Comprehensive Literacy for All. It is written by Dr. Karen Erickson and Dr. David Copenhaver, who I actually worked at a summer camp with a few years ago while he was doing a lot of the research for it. So it was cool to see him writing, and now it's this amazing book. But I would encourage you, and if you have a group of professionals, you know, that you're all working with students, I had my OT, our physical therapist even joined us in the book club, all of our teachers, our social workers. You know, it is such a complex and multidisciplinary thing, developing those language and literacy skills, especially when you have complex needs. It was just a great book study for everyone. So, and I have some book study things that I made that if you just want to email me, I can share them out with you because it really, really change things for me. All right, Mara, I'm so sorry. Mara said our teachers could care less when we share things with them. I know, and it's really hard. And so that's why we start small and we start doing some of these best practices, and they see them working and they see the enthusiasm and they see the engagement, and hopefully that's what's going to get them on board. I'm sorry you're experiencing that. It's really hard. Okay, so shared reading is one of the components of the comprehensive literacy approach for all. And I'll talk to you a little bit about Megan totally cares. Megan, you're an amazing teacher. Yeah. Okay. Shared reading. Next slide. Okay, so let's go back to those 3 early literacy skills that we talked about at the beginning, once I got the slides working, and that oral language. So we really talked about how we need to have that expressive and receptive vocabulary and those listening comprehension skills. And the other 2 things are very important, but right now we're going to talk about that top piece, that oral language, expressive, receptive, and listening comprehension. So this is why we're doing this. Next slide. So shared reading is different from a read aloud. When we read aloud, we sit down and we share a book and we read it, and we have our wonderful voices and our calming tones, and the kids sit there mesmerized. Shared reading is a little bit different. Shared reading is where we're not just reading the book, but we're interacting with the book. So as Ellen Justice, they defined it as the interaction that occurs when a child and adult look at or read a book together. And the source on the Commission on Reading actually says that it is the single most important activity for developing knowledge required for eventual success in reading. So I think it's a big deal. So I'm excited that we're talking about it today. Excuse me. Okay, so it is an evidence-based instructional approach, and it focuses on that interaction and making meaning and making connections to information that occur when you're sharing a book together. And so by doing this, you're building that emergency literacy understanding, that expressive and receptive communication skills, really teaching how to rely on that background knowledge and use those experiences that you have to make meaning, to develop those concepts about print, and to talk about reading as being fun and enjoyable and just an awesome time spending, an awesome way to spend time with people. Okay, next slide. Oops. So how do we do it? Again, just like using a core board, there's not a lot of steps involved to it. Basically, what you do is you're going to focus on the interaction. So instead of my goal is to get through this whole book, I want them to hear the whole book, I want to have a really nice interaction and make some meaning while we explore this book together. And so instead of us reading to the students, we are now reading to the student, or reading with the child or the students. We're kind of scaffolding it so that students start taking the lead in interactions. When we turn a new page, they're like, oh, I know what I can do. I can say something about this. And we're looking at really inspiring that engagement and communication, because there is there's some research showing that kids with communication delays, even in preschool, are already kind of withdrawing from that active participation, because they know people might not understand, or I might not be able to say exactly what I want. So that engagement and that connection is super important. Next slide. So specifically, what we're going to do is, we're going to encourage communication at all times, and any type of communication. We're going to have a core board available, because what we're talking about in the 4th part of this presentation is pairing that core with the shared reading. But we're also going to accept gestures, verbalizations, approximations, and we're going to try to attribute meaning to it. We're going to connect the content of the book to the personal knowledge and experience of the student. Like, you just had a birthday too. That's so exciting. Pulling that in, giving those little golden nuggets. We're providing lots of wait time, and we are going to see a few videos, and I will tell you, I suck at wait time. I work at it, but I'm not providing enough wait time, so do longer than what I'm showing you in the videos. And then we can also model the use of any type of communication supports that we're using. Okay, next slide. Okay, so there's 4 components to shared reading, and the first is that inspiration. You just want to make it so exciting that they do not want to go anywhere else than sit next to you and share this book experience with you. And then the next is you want to assign that meaning. So you're going to observe any forms of communication. So if like someone's looking down, you can say like, oh, I'm thinking you might be telling me I'm not interested, or I don't like it, or someone's smiling. Things like, oh, you're smiling. I think you like the tiger. The next thing is you're going to provide wait time, and that's something that I am still working on. I try to think of one time through the ABC song, which is about 20 seconds. That's probably the minimum wait time we should get. But I'm still really bad at it. So if anyone has any other ideas on how to be better about wait time, please Sensei, I need your guidance. And the last thing is that we are going to read it again and again. Reading the same book many times, many different ways. One of the key tenets in comprehensive literacy for all is that reading with variety, repetition with variety. And so we want to get it to the point where the child is going to read the book to us. They're going to share that experience. So these are those important. So Kim, thank you. Kim just shared noisy stories are great for this. I love noisy stories. I agree. Engagement, making funny sounds and all of that. Thank you for sharing that. I love it. Okay, next slide. So while you're doing the reading, while you're doing all those things, you're being engaging, you're looking for any type of communication with our emerging communicators and literacy learners. The acronym you're going to think about is called CAR. And they say, just follow the CAR. And the CAR involves making a comment. So you're kind of drawing in. Okay, and I said 5+ seconds. That's probably all I'm giving, and I need to be giving more. Then you're going to ask a question. You're going to wait for that response. And then you're going to respond by adding a little bit more to what the child said. So that's all you need to remember as you go through different pages. You're going to comment, kind of draw them in, then ask a question, and then respond by adding more. Oops, sorry, I tried to advance it. It's not my job. Thank you. Okay, so in Good Night Gorilla. All right, we're just looking at the front page. I love this book so much. So I'm looking at this book, I'm pointing at the gorilla, and I'm going, that is not good. I'm showing that key, that is not good. Okay, and then I might have the student looking, maybe laughing, and then I'm gonna say, oh, what is he doing? Okay, and then the student's going to respond, and in one way or the other, and I'm going to try to engage that. I might use some nonverbals. Tell me, I'm doing lots of eye contact, smiling, encouragement, and then I can respond something like, yeah, he needs to stop. That's what I did right there. Okay, let's try another one. Oh, and yeah, and those are the things that we kind of did in between. And so a lot of times between that asking that question, we are inferring meaning, you know, and so that's a very important skill. So here is llama, llama, red pajama. Okay, so either using chat or using just unmuting yourself if you want to use your voice today. What would be a comment we could make about just this cover? Something that would draw someone in. Uh-oh, she looks worried. Yeah. Good ones. What else? She looks unhappy. Yeah, good comments. Llama is in bed. Yep. Very nice. Okay. So we're drawing them in. Do you have a sleeping friend? Look at the llama. I love that. The llama's eyes, because they are interesting. That's really, yeah. Look at those eyes. Llama is tired. Llama's eye. I love that you guys are picking up in the eyes. I don't know how many times I've read this book and I've never pointed that out. Where is the baby? Llama is sleeping. Yeah, you're doing that comment. You're drawing them into this experience. This is not going to be, I'm going to read you a book and you're going to listen. This is us doing it together. Okay, it is dark. Great one, Mara. Okay, so then the next step would be ask. We're going to ask them a question. So now we're inviting them into the participation, into the collaboration. What could be a question we could ask? What is Llama doing? Yep. Yeah, what kind of stuff do you sleep with? Where are they? What happened? You guys are amazing. Why is Llama sad? Where is Llama? Yeah, lots of good questions. And so then, obviously, this is hard to come up with an answer because we have different ones. But let's talk about if the question is, what are they doing? And maybe we have a student going, shh. That's the symbol he's giving us. Shh. That's how he's communicating. How can we respond? What are they doing? And he says, shh. How could we respond? Yeah, he's ready for bed. Yep. You're telling me he's tired. Yes, they are going to sleep. Awesome. So you're taking that meaning, you're giving them those words. Quiet time. I love it. Shh. It's time to be quiet. Yeah. Well done. Quiet. They're going to sleep. You guys are naturals. Awesome. Let's go on to the next slide. Okay. And here's me doing a little shared reading. I'm going to drink some tea right now. Oh, I can't hear it.
Nuts.
Thank you.
Or
Oh, it's fine.
sorry, you're listening to me feed my.
I can probably do the. Play.
Do you want to do the dictation as you
Sure.
go? Oh, cool.
Sure.
All right.
So I think my draw in on this was I was looking at it. I think I said hi friends because I'm not capable of saying anything else when I start an interaction, especially on video. And then as it goes on, I'm telling you, we're going to read a book and it's called Snowman at Night. And there is a tip in there from Michelle and Claire. So Snowman at Night. And I think my comment was, brrr. And then I'm saying, oh, what are they doing? And the student response was they were kind of laughing at pointing at the nose. And I said, yes, they are silly. They are having fun. And so those were some of the ways that I was using that shared reading. We can go ahead and move on in slides. I was just going to show like 2 pages. Okay. I'm saying hi friends again, because that's what I love to do. So it is a great book. And there's a series of 4, which is great. The Snowman at Night, Snowman at Christmas, Snowman on Summer Break. And I can't remember the other one. I like to pull these out in the month of February and have a new one each week because you're kind of getting some of that repetition with variety, a lot of the same characters, and it's kind of fun to think of snowmen going to the beach in the middle of February. And so you're going to find a lot of resources on shared reading, comprehensive literacy, and core vocabulary if you go to the Center for Literacy and Disability Studies at UNC Chapel Hill, and this is where Dr. Karen Erickson works. And this is one of the tools that I really like, and I do believe it is in your resource folder. If you don't find it in there, either message me or just email me and I will pop it in there. But this is deciding, is my student, should I be doing the CAR, following the CAR, the commenting, asking questions, respond? And there's a series of 4 questions you go through. So are they engaged actively during shared reading? Do they have some type of symbolic means of communication and interaction? Do they know most of the letters most of the time? And do they understand that writing involves letters and words? And so if there are any no's, then your student is appropriate to go ahead and use this strategy. Okay. Now, once they've kind of mastered this, there's another step called putting the crowd in the car, which is another acronym. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. Yeah, Okay. Okay, and yeah, go forward again. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so when we're talking about the next phase, so you feel like your students are doing really well, they're ready for that next level of engagement, you can now work on a 5-part acronym, which is called putting the crowd in the car. If their response to your question is off topic, sorry, there's a question. Should you continue with the car and respond by adding a little bit more? Yes, Susan, that's exactly what I would do. You want them to have that meaningful engagement. So if you feel like your students are doing a really nice job with that and you're ready to kind of take it up a level, or you're differentiating, you have some students who are at the car level and you have some who can do a little bit more, you're going to introduce the crowd. And so what you're doing with that is first you're going to do a completion type thing. So you're going to do a closed sentence, leave a blank at the end of the sentence and they fill it in. And this is really good for repetitive books and things like that. Then you're going to ask a recall question like, what just happened? Where is that hat? And then you can ask some open-ended questions, things like, tell me what's happening. What is going on? Where are they? So they can kind of give lots of open-ended information. Then you can ask a specific WH question. What does that man have? And then the last thing is where you're bridging things together, and we call this a distance. And so we're going to have questions that build a bridge between the book and a personal experience. So like, we went to a farm in the fall. There were farm animals in the book. What animals did we see at the farm? So kind of bringing those knowledge pieces together. With your emerging communicators, we're probably not going to be using crowd, but I wanted to share all of the information about the shared reading process. So we're going to look at it a little bit more, and then we're going to jump into using specifically the CAR strategy paired with the core vocabulary. Okay, so crowd in the car. So dragons love tacos. So if I was using this strategy, I might say, oh, dragons really love, yes, they love tacos. You're right. No, they don't love salsa. No. Salsa is spicy. So we're going to do those completion questions. And then next is a recall question. So, well, why is he laying down? Oh, because he ate too many tacos. You shouldn't eat that many tacos at once. Then an open-ended question. So what is going on in this picture? I love the lampshade on the blue dragon. That's a fun detail. Like I love when they pick up with that. They're like, you don't wear that. The next step would be, how many did he eat? We're going to ask a specific question. So maybe this is a 4-year-old and they're counting tacos, or maybe the answer is a lot. And then the final part of crowd is that distance. Well, you just had a birthday party. What did you eat at it? Did you eat tacos? So we're doing that same type of thing. We're sharing that experience. We're making an engagement. It's not a passive, you're listening to the story, but we're just taking it up to a different level. Where is the fire? I know. All right, should we try this, or we might not get volume?
Let me see.
Okay, this is such a sweet book. Harold loves his woolly hat. This is one that I found when I was doing all remote preschool during 2020, 2021.
All right, let's give it a whirl.
Okay.
Hi, friends.
There it is.
One of Miss Dobbels' favorite new books. Harold loves his woolly hat. Look. It's so colorful. Did you wear a hat today? Oh, so comfy, so cozy. Your hat is red? Well, so is Harold's. Red and yellow. I can't wait to learn more about Harold's hat.
Okay, so I'm going to use the crowd now.
Oh, it's very snowy.
All right, let's start with the car. Sorry. So I just made him a comment. It's very snowy.
Do you see anything over here?
I'm asking a question.
I see them too, snowmen. Oh.
Now I'm going to read the text.
I wonder if Harold built them. Harold loves to wear his woolly hat. Harold really loves to wear his
Completion.
his hat. You're right. I forgot. What does Harold like to wear again?
All question.
Oh, you're right. His woolly hat. Thank you.
Then an open-ended question.
Tell me about this picture. Yeah, I think they're outside. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's cold.
Now a WH question.
That's good. 1, 2,
I asked how many were there.
4 snowmen. It is cold. So, who do you think made the snowmen?
Question.
I think it was Harold too. So we have snow outside. What do you like to do outside when it snows?
And so there's the distance. We can pause it right there.
Do
So
it
that's
just like Harold makes
car, and then adding in that next piece. Okay, we can go on. And Janet just shared that CAR is really going to help with your student teacher. Yeah, it really is a great strategy and a good acronym to remember, not too many steps. And this just came apart, but you know, the more children learn about words and stories, the easier it'll be for them to learn to read. Yes, I love therapy in action too. Okay, so that was our overview on shared reading. So now we're going to put it all together. Okay, so we're going to take that core vocabulary and that shared reading, and we are going to primarily talk about that CAR, C-A-R, comment, ask, respond. Okay, so why are we doing this is because the two skills are mutually beneficial. As you're increasing literacy skills, you're increasing language skills. You're simultaneously targeting two important skills. And we know that in order for students to learn and internalize things, that they have to feel a connection and they have to feel engaged. Another reason is that I think this is such a great activity for new communication partners like parents or new staff members who might be coming into your room to really show them how to model on a core board or on a device. And it's an easy way to now start embedding core vocabulary into classroom schedules or family routines. I think you can walk in any classroom and you're going to find at some point there is a book experience. In most homes, we hope that there is a reading activity going on, you know, daily. So it's just a really nice 2-for-1 experience. Next slide. Okay, so what I like to start off with is starting with wordless books, because we have been conditioned that you read the words on the page and sometimes it's really hard. Our adult brains are like, but it says this. So my favorite series is the Carl the Dog series. And if you push advance, Sina, thank you. Here's one of the images from it. I mean, the premise is kind of weird. The mom is always leaving the dog or the baby with the Rottweiler while she goes out and runs errands. So it's like a little irresponsible. But the pictures are amazing. And I love that you can kind of make up the words that go along with it. So one of the things that I've done in the past before I even knew what shared reading was, if you click forward again, Sina, is I have just provided some of those highest frequency core vocabulary words on a bookmark. And I said, I want you to read the story, but only use these words. So using these, I could say something like, oh, look. Then I can say, what is it? I like it. Emily just asked the author's name. I'll have to look it up. But if you look up the book, Good Dog Carl, that's the first one in the series. There's over a dozen. There's over a dozen of them, and they're great. Like you can use one every month. There's like Carl's Halloween party, Carl's Christmas, Carl's birthday, Carl goes to the zoo. Yes, Claire, yes, Day. The last name is Day. So you can start by just giving some limited words. Yes, Stina, thank you. Alexandra Day is the author, and the illustrations are just engaging and exciting, and it's really funny to see the dog as the caretaker in every role. And the baby never really grows up that much, but they have lots of great adventures. So starting with a limited set of words and then being like, hey, I can construct a story I can construct a story using just these words is kind of empowering. Heng said, I like to add these words to their devices and have them use them to tell about what they see and feel. Yes. And Jennifer said, I don't know, Carl is the best caretaker. He is. He's a very gentle Rottweiler. Okay, so this is one way that you can start kind of getting comfortable. Now, maybe instead of having this little bookmark with print words on it, you could have a core board where you've circled a few words that you just want to comment on. This is a way to start. Let's talk about a next step we can do. Here's another Carl book. This was using some of those really high frequency words that I used with some of my preschoolers with the actual symbol. So we have this picture. I just love, like seriously, the illustrations are incredible. But using these words down here, what could we say? What kind of comments could we make about what's happening? Get it? Mm-hmm. Come look. Oh, I like it. My turn. Mm-hmm. Getting very comfortable with the core. Good. I see. Yeah. What if we wanted to ask a question? Now, obviously, we don't have the WH words on there, but we can use inflection to ask a question. Want to help? What are they doing? Yeah. Do you like snow? What is he making? So this is a nice, not all of us need to start with that limited vocabulary, but this is a nice way to kind of ease into now thinking like, I don't have to read the exact words. I can use my core instead. Tell me more. Awesome. Okay, go ahead and advance the slide. Okay, so there's my word list book. I think just because I wasted a lot of our time in the beginning, we are going to skip this slide. Yeah. Okay, so another thing you could do is you could have a target in mind. So many preschools or SLPs or programs in general might have a core week, core word of the week or something like that approach. And this is a great approach that goes in that. And on a side note, Marissa said Treasure Bath is a great word list book. I've never read that or heard of it, so I'm very excited. I'm going to write that down. Thank you for sharing. So if I'm targeting the word go, I can use this book, Wheels on the Bus. And because it is my target word, I'm going to want to get some repetitions in there.
Oh, shoot, you're muted.
Thanks. Sorry. Okay. I don't know where I got muted. Go back one slide. So did you hear me talking about like the core word of the week? Okay, so if you have like a core word of the week, like a target one, you can choose like, I'm going to focus on this word and I want to get lots of repetitions in. And so using the words here in our bank for the comment, we can say things like, oh, it is going to come. It is going to come. The bus is coming. And then I can ask a question like, oh, who will go? Who will go on? Oh, the guy, you think the guy? Oh, I like to watch it go. All those words are on the core board, but I only have to model a few here or there. Since we're focusing on go, maybe that's the only time I'm going to be modeling. Okay, let's try another focused one. I love this series too from Usborne. My sons had like that is not my tractor, that is not my locomotive, that is not my motorcycle. We didn't have a lot of the cute fuzzy kitten ones, but yeah, Kelly agrees. She's like, great books. But so this is a great book to use, like if you're targeting the word not. So what could be a comment? Now it doesn't have to be all core, but maybe you want to make sure you're getting that word not in there. What would be a comment that we could say about this page? It's getting late, so if you want me to just go through this, that is not a dog. Yeah, That's a good one. Thank you. Yeah, that is not a dog. You're right. That's a good comment. And then we could ask a question. My cat does. Oh, Claire, I love that. My cat does not have a shiny bell. Yeah, where is the mouse is a great one. Awesome. Where is this mouse? Okay. What could we ask? What type of question could we ask using some of the core words? Maybe targeting not. We can also use inflection. So something like that is not it. Where is it? It's hard to get that not in there. I didn't choose a good word. Sorry, guys. And the responding, why is it white? Is that ball up or down? Good questions. Yeah. And then that response. So building upon what they say. So if they say up, you can say like, yes, it is up. It is not down. Ball. Thank you, Barb. Where is the bell? Yes, it is. It does look like a ball though. Okay, let's continue on. And then I just wanted to share these titles, and I will put this exact slide. What else is shiny? Great, great one, Janet. I'll put this particular slide in the resources, but these are some of the books. I wrote a grant to get copies of these books for several of the classrooms I worked in so that we had target core, like heavy core word of the week productions in each book. And this was the group of books I used. The book Look up there on top is out of print, but if you can find it somewhere, it's so amazing. It only uses the word look. And I love it because it shows how you can use one word for so many different functions. So, but if you're looking to build a core focused library of books for shared reading, these are some great ones. And if anyone has anything else, they can add it to the chat. But yeah, I will put this specific slide. Okay, next slide. And then you can just freestyle it. So this book, My Truck is Stuck. I love this so much. So using this book and using my core board, I can make a comment like, uh-oh, this is not good. This is not good. On my core board down here, it's hard to see, but I use the no, don't, the red X in the bottom. I also use that for not when I'm working with a communicator. Oh, so my question might be, who can help? And then my response can be, it needs to get here to help. L. Kirby just said Brown Bear and Where Spot are also good books. Let's look at another book example. My all-time favorite book, Trashy Town. So he isn't on my core board, so I can look at this and I can say, oh, he can get that. And then I can ask a question. When is he coming? And then my response can be something like, oh, he can open it up and put it in. Because I model kind of all day, every day, I probably am modeling all those, but you don't need to do that. Pick 2 words per phrase, pick 1 word per phrase, and just keep getting comfortable. But you are drawing the connection between the words you're talking and that symbolic piece. It's the most important thing we can do to help a student learn how to use a core board and then hopefully eventually move on to either verbal language or a more robust device. And Megan just shared that the Reading A to Z books are amazing for core targets. They are, yeah. Okay, let's progress. This is another book, one of my newer ones, Stuck. The premise is so wonderful. This little boy is flying his kite, and the kite gets stuck in the tree. And it says at the top, the trouble really began when he threw his favorite shoe to knock the kite loose. And that got stuck too. So there's a blue shoe now in the tree. By the end of the story, pretty much the entire town, including buildings, fire trucks, firemen, are all in the tree. It's a very cute language activity. You get lots of excitement, lots of giggling. But what can we say about this using our core board? What kind of comment could we say to kind of bring that interest in when we turn to this page? The red kite is up in the tree. Yes, it is up in the tree. The shoe is up in the tree. Kite stopped in the tree. He is looking. You guys are great. Oh no, what happened? Where is it? He wants help. Oh no, don't. So good, so good. Very engaging. And then what type of question could you ask using some of these core words on our board below? Love it. What will he do? What can he do? Really, really good. Okay. And so what if the student says get or points at it? How could you respond to that? What would be your response using core? Get it out. What can he do? Get it down. Awesome. So you're giving that response, you're expanding on it, and you're providing that core vocabulary. 2 for 1 special. He wants it. Nice job. So this is another book that I think is a great one to add for lots of excitement. Okay, let's keep progressing. Okay, so here's a quick video of me doing shared reading. Instead of a core board, I am using TouchChat 60. So you will see a little bit of navigation, but those first 90 words are going to be within one navigation away. So you're going to see the same type of things. Yes, make it come down. Awesome, Megan. All right, so let's hear I Want My Hat Back, another awesome book.
Hi, it is time to read a story. Our story is called I want my hat back. Look at him. Look at him. What kind of animal is he? That's my question. What? What kind of animal? Oh yeah, he could be a bear. I like the way you're thinking. That's a good idea. Let's start.
It's so hard watching my facial expressions. I feel bad for all my students over the years.
He doesn't look very happy. He is not happy. Nope. Not happy. I want to know, I have a question. How do you think he is feeling? How do you think he's feeling? I agree. It looks like he is feeling. He is feeling mad. We have lots of different feelings that we all have.
Okay, just because I want to get it run out on time, we can stop it from here. But that's an example of pairing the two together. Okay, and a little different using the speech device. Hi. Okay, so my tips for doing this, for putting it together, is that you really want to plan it out. And Post-it notes are our best friends because we don't naturally think in core all the time. So maybe jot down some of the things that you want to say on a page, and Post-it notes are great. Next thing you can do is either laminate it. Oh yeah, so this is how my colleague Kelly Key at Barrington, this is how she prepares her book. So she'll just put a little sticky note on there so she knows what she's going to say, and then she just takes it down, you know, as they turn the page. Another way that you can do it, if we go to the next slide, is, go ahead, next one. Not a Box is also an amazing book, is you can go ahead and circle the words that you would want to use so you can easily find them. So you can see things like not, it looks, no. So this is going to give you that quick look. Like, I know these words are in here. These are the ones that I want to focus on. So that's another way. If you don't laminate it, you can go ahead and just put in a page protector and use an expo marker. And so that's something that my good friend Kelly Key also does. And next one. This is what I really like. Having everything together is really hard. So what I do is I have a binder and I put a core board on the top and I Velcro it to the top. And then I put little Velcro dots on the binder and then corresponding dots on all the books that I use for my shared reading. So what I'm going to have, and I don't have it with me because I was actually sick today, I didn't make it into my office, was you'll have a binder. So you'll have all of this. So up on top, you have your core board and down here, you'll have the book. And so as you're turning the book, then you can be providing this this modeling up here. So that was kind of the easiest way I've done it as a single person. Obviously, it works great with pairs. So if there's a teacher and a speech language pathologist or a teacher and assistant who can do it in tandem, that also works lovely. But this was a great solution for me in keeping all my materials together. Okay, we'll keep on going. So these are some of the other cool ways. Oh, go back one. So when you go to some of these sites that I will put together a list of, they do these specials. So you can get a floor mat made with a core board on it. So think about that, like snuggling up and then having your modeling there in front of you. You can get a pillow made with core on it. Those are just some nice little, cozy, snuggly things that make it more interaction based, but it's a great tool. You can get blankets made, you can wear it on a shirt. So lots of different ways to have it accessible, but also make it like a nice cozy part of the experience. Next page. And we'll kind of quickly go through this. So what I suggest if you want to start using this is choose your book and go ahead and forward it. And choose, are you going to use a target word? Or are you just going to kind of naturally go through all the different words on your core board? Are you going to use a limited set? So like where I showed you that bookmark in the beginning, or are you going to use the full range? Are you looking to model single words or phrases? How are you going to have your script? Do you want to use sticky notes, or are you going to circle them? Are you going to freestyle it, which is awesome too? And then think about your board placement. Am I going to use a binder method, something on the floor? Am I going to have a partner? And then finally, think about how you're going to follow the car, those comments, asking and responding. And so putting these things together is going to get you some really nice growth, especially as you continue this process and kids really kind of get excited and pulled into that process. Okay, next slide, I think is my last. Yeah, just a few quotes. We'll quickly go through these. Just go to the next one. Oprah said something awesome, communication and connection. Kate DiCamillo, I love this. Reading should not be presented to children as a chore. It should be as that gift. And really in that shared reading, we're providing that. And who else? Erin Sheldon is, Carol Zangari, who is an AAC expert. Core words, they're tricky. Sometimes they don't seem the most intuitive, but they are very important. And this is a great quote if you would get any people kind of pushing back on that. The next one is going to be from Erin Sheldon, who is a mother of a student with complex communication needs, and she also works for Aprillo Co. to Go. We're not looking at how many words a child can string together, but we're looking at if they're feeling understood, and that's what we're contributing to. And so I think that's the end. Yeah, I like those quotes too. I think they're a nice way to end it. Please, my email is on the top. Please keep in touch. Ask me questions, share some cool things that you're doing, but I really appreciate your time and your grace because we start off a little bumpy today.
Little bumpy. Everyone, please join me in thanking Deidre for her time today. Give her a round of applause. She took the day off work because she was sick and she still came through and did this webinar for us. So we hope she gets lots of rest and drinks her tea and feels better soon. Thank you so much, Deidre. We hope to have you back again soon. We'll do a slight editing to get the bumpy parts out, and we will post the rest of the webinar on our website soon. For everyone, if you were in attendance the entire time, you will be getting a link tomorrow for an evaluation. Please complete that evaluation, submit it, and when you do that, you will get your certificate of attendance for your hour and a half of time here today. Check out our website for a whole bunch of other webinars this spring, and then we'll be adding more as the year goes on. Yes, I agree. Deirdre did a great job. We are always thrilled to have her join us, and we hope you will walk away today with some excitement for continuing to use core vocabulary to support early reading in your with your preschool students. Thank you all for your time here this evening, and we wish you well. Stay warm. Spring is coming. Happy Groundhog's Day, and have a good evening. Bye.